LGBT Americans are our colleagues, our teachers, our soldiers, our friends, our loved ones, and they are full and equal citizens and deserve the rights of citizenship. To deny the opportunity to any of our daughters and sons solely on the basis of who they are and who they love is to deny them the chance to live up to their own God-given potential. From Stonewall to Laramie and now Orlando, we've seen too many examples of how the struggle to live freely, openly, and without fear has been met by violence. We have to stand together, be proud together. There is no better rebuke to the terrorists and all those who hate. So the stakes in this election are high for the country. I think about all those millions of worries, large and small, that same-sex parents and LGBT Americans think about every day. I'm going to keep, as I have throughout my life, fighting for you, your rights, your children, your futures. And I am proud to be fighting right alongside you.
I am a
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome State Senator Pat Spearman from Nevada.
Good evening, Democrats. Good evening, Democrats. I am a veteran. I'm a minister. I'm an African American. And I am a proud member of the LGBTQ community. When I joined our military in 1977, I lived in fear of being discharged. But today, LGBTQ members of the military can serve openly and proudly. When I was elected to the Nevada State Legislature in 2012, I was one of only 2 who were openly gay, and today I am one of 5. When Nevada started recognizing same-sex marriage in 2014, we were one of 26 states. And today, marriage equality is nationwide. That's progress, my friends. But we can't stop now. We've heard Trump say that he would protect the LGBTQ community. But he is against marriage equality and has said he's all for overturning it. Donald Trump says that anyone can use any bathroom in Trump Towers, but he still supports heinous bathroom bills, and he would strip away the rights of transgender Americans. But his worst attack on us was his vice presidential pick, Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Governor Pence signed a law that lets individuals and businesses deny services to LGBTQ Americans, and he used religion as a weapon to discriminate. And the state lost millions of dollars as a result. As a lesbian, that hurts me. As a person of faith, that offends me. And as a legislator working hard to create jobs, that baffles me. No matter the cost to our country, Donald Trump and Mike Pence will strip away the progress that we have fought so hard to win. Why? Because they fear diversity, we celebrate it. They fear progress, we build on it. They fear equality, we'll keep fighting for it. So Democrats, are we going to retreat? Will we keep marching forward? Hillary Clinton is battle-tested. She will fight alongside us, for equality in our schools, in our communities, in our workplaces, and in our nation. She will make the Equality Act legal and make it illegal to discriminate on the basis of who you love, who you are, wherever you live, or wherever you work, once and for all. This election, make no mistake about it, won't be easy. But I know that we are ready. And in the words of the old Negro spiritual, so let's walk together, Democrats, don't get weary. Let's work together, Democrats, don't get weary. Let's talk together, Democrats, don't get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land of equality. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Hi, I'm comedian Ken Jeong. I once jumped naked out of a car in a movie.
And I'm Austin Goolsby, former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors and a member of President Obama's cabinet.
So are you on the Trump train now?
No, Donald Trump is a complete...
Shh. Donald's talking.
Remember we used to have Made in the USA, right? When was the last time you've seen it?
Yeah, you make stuff right here. What?
He didn't do that.
What do you mean he didn't do that? There's all kinds of Trump stuff. Hotels, suits, ties, furniture, glassware. I mean, look at this Trump shirt. Made in good old Bangladesh. What, yeah, Trump tie. Probably made in Pennsylvania. China? Mexico? About the Trump cufflinks?
China.
Trump vodka?
The Netherlands.
Trump crystal barware?
Slovenia.
Holy Melania!
I'm sorry.
Calm down for America. So, Austin, if that is your real name, Donald Trump says he will bring back jobs to America when he himself made millions outsourcing his own Donald Trump stuff to be made everywhere else?
That is a pretty astute observation, Ken.
And scene. I think that was great. Did we got everything we needed. That's awesome. So when is he going to jump out of a trunk naked?
We are not having this conversation again, Ken.
No, we did. I told your people that.
I told you
No,
we're
I told
not
your people that.
doing that.
I told your people that, and you agreed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Bob Casey from Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Philadelphia, the place where American independence began and where our Constitution was born. Since the time of William Penn, Pennsylvania has been a commonwealth of creators, of makers, of builders who every day invent the future. My father, Governor Casey, believed that we must never forget that, quote, the sweat and blood of working men and women who built Pennsylvania forged the Industrial Revolution in our country and outproduced the world. With family roots in Scranton and her many visits through the state over the years, Hillary Clinton understands this. She'll work every day to build an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the top. But what about Donald Trump? Donald Trump says he stands for workers and that he'll put America first, but that's not how he's conducted himself in business. Where are his, quote, tremendous Trump products made? Dress shirts, Bangladesh; furniture, Turkey; picture frames, India; wine glasses, Slovenia; neckties, China. China! Why would Donald Trump make products in every corner of the world, but not in Altoona, Erie, or here in Philadelphia? Well, this is what he said, quote, outsourcing is not always a terrible thing. Wages in America, quote, are too high. And then he complained about companies moving jobs overseas because, quote, we don't make things anymore. Really? Well, tell that to the union workers at All-Clad in Canonsburg, who make the pots and pans found in many of our kitchens. Tell that to the employees of Connex in Hatfield, who create toys that teach our children about engineering and architecture. Tell that to the robotics students at Carnegie Mellon, who are building 21st century robots and cars that drive themselves. Donald Trump hasn't made anything in his life except a buck on the backs of working people. If he is the champion of working people, I'm the starting center for the 76ers. The man who wants to make America great doesn't make anything in America. And it's insulting that he has no plan to support the men and women who are manufacturing products here at home. All he has are empty promises, like so many he's made and failed to follow through on before. If you believe that outsourcing has been good for working people and has raised incomes for the middle class, then you should vote for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. She believes Hillary believes we need an economy that works for everyone, not just Donald Trump and those at the top. We need to commit ourselves to making good-paying jobs here at home so that everyone who works hard can get ahead and stay there. That's why in her first 100 days in office, President Hillary Clinton will put forward the largest investment in good-paying jobs since World War II. As president, she'll reward businesses that share profits with their employees. She'll slap a new exit tax on companies that move overseas while rewarding companies that invest here at home. And she'll strengthen our economy by investing $10 billion in new advanced manufacturing jobs that can't be sent overseas. This November, we have a choice. You can choose a candidate who's only out for himself, who wants to get rid of the federal minimum wage, and who would cut taxes for the richest Americans at the expense of the middle class. Or you can choose Hillary Clinton, a leader with a proven track record of fighting for an economy that works for all of us. If you're with her like I am, sign up and volunteer at HillaryClinton.com. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Luke Feeney from Chillicothe, Ohio.
Hello, delegates! Hello, Ohio! I am proud to serve the great people of historic Chillicothe, Ohio's first capital. And I'm proud to be one of the many Ohioans supporting Hillary Clinton. When I think about what's at stake this November, I think about a woman from our hometown named Courtney Lewis. Courtney's dad works at the local paper mill. She dreamed of opening her own business, not just for her, but for her city. She didn't like seeing those empty buildings downtown. She wanted to do her part. So, Courtney moved into a vacant storefront and, with two partners, started a local gift shop called Totem Supply Company. 3 years later, Totem is a small-town success story, and it's not the only one. Chillicothe is on the rise. Appalachia is on the rise. And it's thanks to small business owners like Courtney. I tell Courtney's story tonight, not because it's unique, but because it isn't. all across the country, thousands of entrepreneurs and small business owners are equally ready to drive growth in their communities. All they need is a chance. The last thing Ohioans need is a president who has crushed small businesses by not paying them for the work they did. The last thing Ohio needs is Donald Trump. Hillary's dad was a small business owner. She gets it. Hillary knows America works best when it works for everyone. And she has a plan to make sure that entrepreneurs like Courtney have all the tools they need to succeed. Less red tape, more access to capital, like bigger businesses have, a more even playing field, and a wider path to prosperity for all of us. Mayors of small towns across the country need a president who will be a friend to small business, who will be a partner in our resurgence. Hillary knows American success stories start in places like Chillicothe. That's why we're with her. That's why Chillicothe's with her. That's why Ohio's with her. We're with her because she's with us. And that's why we're going to send Hillary Clinton to the White House this November. Thank you.
You know what? The women get it better than we do, folks. All right? They get it better than we do.
What's your position on equal pay for women, and how would you address the ongoing problem of women getting access to capital?
It's too early in the morning to ask that question.
Putting a wife to work is a very dangerous thing. A pregnancy is never, it's a wonderful thing for the woman, it's a wonderful thing for the husband, it's certainly an inconvenience for a business.
All I was requesting was a break that everybody had agreed to during lunch hour so that I can excuse myself and pump my baby's food in the privacy of a room.
I may have said that's disgusting. I may have said something else. I thought it was terrible. She's a horrible person.
Well, obviously it's great outer beauty. I mean, we could say politically correct that the look doesn't matter, but the look obviously matters. Like you wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful.
His policies are very backward. They're very anti-women.
Is this someone that you would vote for?
No, no, he has to be stopped.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Kirsten Gillibrand from New York.
Some people know me as a United States Senator from New York. But during school drop-off and pickup, I'm better known as Theo and Henry's mom. Like most working parents, my husband and I juggle a lot. We're fortunate to have flexibility, but some days we still barely keep it together. The vast majority of working parents have it much tougher. They're struggling with too little time, too little money, and too little support. And Washington hasn't caught up to their reality. Families today look almost nothing like they did a generation ago. 8 in 10 moms work outside the home. 4 in 10 moms are the primary or sole breadwinners, and many are single. Thanks to marriage equality, more children grow up with 2 moms or 2 dads. Yet today, our policies are stuck in the Mad Men era. We are the only industrialized nation that doesn't guarantee workers paid family leave. Many women can't even get a paid day off to give birth. Most parents work outside the home, yet childcare can cost as much as college tuition. Families rely on women's income, but we still don't have equal pay for equal work. This makes no sense because we know that when families are strong, America is strong. Hillary Clinton gets it. Not just because she's a working mom and Charlotte and Aiden's grandmother, but because for her, it's about her core values. The idea we have that we have a responsibility to one another. It's about who we are as a nation. It's why after law school, she could have gone to a fancy law firm, but she chose to work at the Children's Defense Fund, where she advocated for children with disabilities. It's why, as America's First Lady, she helped create a health insurance program for children so that 8 million kids could get the care they need. And it's why, as Secretary of State, she helped women and children to escape violence and poverty, to attend schools, support their families, and reinvest in their communities. And it's why, as President of the United States, she will bring our workplace policies out of the dark ages and always, always put families first. You see, Hillary Clinton's life's work has been defined by one question: how can we help those who need it the most? Donald Trump has been defined by a very different question: how can I help myself the most? Donald Trump actually stood on a debate stage and said that wages are too high. Hillary knows that in the richest country in the world, it is unacceptable that a mom with 2 kids working full-time still lives in poverty. Donald Trump says that when it comes to paid family leave, you have to be careful of it. Hillary knows that it is long past time to have guaranteed paid family leave. Donald Trump thinks that women should just work harder because, and I'm quoting, "you're gonna make the same if you do as good of a job." Every woman in America knows that is not true. Hillary believes women deserve equal pay for equal work. The choice in this election could not be clearer. If you believe in the values that have always made us great, if you believe in keeping America great, then support Hillary Clinton. Thank you, and God bless this great nation.
Please welcome United States Senator Al Franken from Minnesota.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Save it for the end. I'm Al Franken. I'm Al Franken, Minnesotan, senator and world-renowned expert on right-wing megalomaniacs. Rush Limbaugh, Bill O'Reilly, and now Donald Trump. Now, a little about my qualifications. I got my doctorate in megalomania studies from Trump University. Sure, I had to empty out my 401k and take a reverse mortgage on my house to pay tuition. But Mr. Trump, or rather some people who said they'd once met him, convinced me that it was worth it. And frankly, as a proud alum of Trump U, I think we may be underestimating Donald Trump. Sure, he's scammed a lot of people. But did you know that Trump University's School of Ripping People Off is ranked second in the nation, right behind Bernie Madoff University? That is no mean feat. And Trump University is about more than just bilking people, although trust me, you will get built. It's also about learning directly from success experts like Scott Baio, Mike Tyson, and of course, a life-size cardboard cutout of Mr. Trump himself. Now, of course, Trump University wouldn't be Trump University without its business school. Their bankruptcy program in particular is known throughout the real estate investment community for its creativity. The most popular course, Bankruptcy 101, How to Leave Your Partners Holding the Bag, is taught by the cardboard cutout itself. The pride of Trump University, of course, is its library, located on a shelf in a closet on the 3rd floor of Trump Tower. All of Mr. Trump's bestsellers are available for sale at a special rate for students, which is 10% higher than the retail price. Clearly, Donald Trump's enormous, dare I say, huge success as a businessman qualifies him to be president. And if you believe that, I've got some delicious Trump steaks to sell you. In all seriousness, I think rather than voting for someone who's never done anything for anyone other than himself, maybe we should go with a candidate who spent her entire life working to get important things done for the American people. I've known Hillary for almost a quarter century. I've never met anyone smarter, tougher, or more ready to lead us forward. I am proud to call Hillary Clinton my friend, and I can't wait to call her Madam President. Now we're going to have a lot of fun this week. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. But when we wake up Friday morning, there will be just 102 days left until the election. And what you, yes, all of you, what you do in those 102 days could determine who wins. And I mean that literally. I won my first race for the Senate by 312 votes. There's my Minnesota delegation. There are people up there who contacted more than 312 people themselves, and literally I would not be here, the reason I am, they are, each of them individually, the reason I am giving this speech here and not into my bathroom mirror. My friend Paul Wellstone, my friend Paul Wellstone used to say, the future belongs to those who are passionate and work hard. This week is about passion, but starting Friday morning, it's all about work, hard work. Now, many of you have jobs. Many of you have families. Ignore them. Let me tell you something. Kids love it when their parents aren't home. They love it. And let me tell you something else. An 8-year-old kid knows how to use a microwave oven. And let me tell you something else. An 8-year-old kid can teach a 4-year-old kid to use a microwave oven. It's just scientific fact. Don't worry about your kids. They'll be fine. You have work to do. Get on those phones, knock on those doors, and tell them Al Franken sent you. Thank you. Get them.
Across the railroad tracks, only shirt I own is hanging on my back. But I'm the envy of every single guy, since I'm the apple of my girl's eye. When we go out stepping on the town for a while, my money's low and my suit's out of style. But it's alright if my clothes are new, out of sight, because my heart is true. She says, baby, everything is alright, uptight, out of sight. Baby, everything is alright, uptight, clean out of sight. She's a pearl of a girl, I guess that's what you might say. Guess her folks might sit around. Worry about yourself, man. She's a pearl of a girl, I guess that's what you might say. Guess how folks brought her up that way. The right side of the tracks, she was born and raised in a great big old house full of butlers and maids. She said, no one is better than I know I'm just an average guy, no football hero, smooth Don Juan. Got empty pockets, you can see I'm a poor man's son. Can't give her those things that money can buy, but I'll never make my baby cry. 'Cause it's alright, but I can do out of sight, because my heart is true. She says, baby, everything is alright, uptight, clean out of sight. Baby, everything is alright, uptight, out of sight. Baby,
this guy. I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
Quote, it is unacceptable for a child to mock another child's disability on the playground, never mind a presidential candidate mocking someone's disability.
When people make fun of the disabled, I become furious. It is despicable, and there is no excuse for it.
He will not apologize and even said that the journalist should stop using his disability to grandstand.
This time, I think it's evident that he stepped over a line.
This is a reprehensible human being. I'm not even talking as a political candidate anymore. If you were a Democrat, I'd say the same thing. You do not mock the disabled, and it's not the first time. He knew exactly what he was doing. It's disgusting. He should apologize.
You shouldn't be making fun of people's disabilities. It's just not worthy of someone running for president of the United States.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said.
Please welcome Anastasia Somoza from New York.
On a visit to the White House. I was 9 years old, and I listened to her and my mom discuss health care and early intervention for children with disabilities. Over the past 23 years, she has continued to serve as a friend and mentor, championing my inclusion and access to classrooms, higher education, and the workforce. She has never lost touch with people like me. She has invested in me, she believes in me, and in a country where 56 million Americans with disabilities so often feel invisible, Hillary Clinton sees me. She sees me as a strong woman, a young professional, a hard worker, and the proud daughter of immigrants. My father from Nicaragua and my mother from Ireland. She has shown me that all these aspects of my identity are strengths which will help me affect change. I fear the day we elect a president who defines being American in the narrowest possible terms, who shouts, bullies, and profits off of vulnerable Americans. Donald Trump has shown us who he really is, and I honestly feel bad for anyone with that much hate in their heart. I know we will show each other and the world who we really are in November when we choose genuine strength and thoughtful leadership over fear and division. Donald Trump doesn't see me, he doesn't hear me, and he definitely doesn't speak for me. I am confident that as our president, Hillary will do everything in her power to promote the rights, empowerment, and humanity of all Americans. She knows that when we support access to education and employment opportunities for absolutely everyone, more of us will be able to live happy, independent lives and to promote, build, and contribute to this great country. As president, Hillary Clinton will continue fighting and inspiring us all with her brave vision and tireless efforts on our behalf. On the eve of the 26th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, I'm proud to be with you, Hillary. Thank you for showing me how to live boldly with a courageous heart.
But that's the only way we can defeat the Republican Party. However, it's very disheartening to see our own party is disenfranchising Sanders' delegate. I have been a Democrat for 15 years. I'm staying with my party. I'm not leaving my party. This is the way we can create change. However, I don't think that we should create the division we are creating right now by undermining Sanders delegates. We're still viable delegates. We have 1,900 plus delegates. We were elected, and we should conduct ourselves as such.
All right, let me see if I can ask you. Ladies, hello. I'm Terry Moran with ABC News. And you are?
I'm Diane Olson. Hey, I'm Jenna Vreno.
Okay. So are you guys with Hillary? Yes. Hillary, yes. Hillary, yes. And I add, your colleague is obviously. Okay.
Hillary! Hillary! Hillary!
Right.
We love you too, though.
All right.
How about a hug?
I'm looking to make peace here.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about humanity.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm all verklempt now. That was a lovely moment. I am. You like that? So let me ask if I may. Thank you very much. But hang on for just a second. So much strong feeling here on the floor. Are you worried that this is a divided party and it's going to help Trump? No?
We're not worried.
Diane?
policemen, they never asked him why. Get out of my way. They heard him shout, you know, blinding light. Oh, all I could see was him running down the street, out of the shadows and into the night. Now, Billy, don't you lose my number, 'cause you're not anywhere that I can find you. Oh, now, Billy, don't you lose my number, 'cause you're not anywhere that I can find you. Keep it, keep running, keep hiding. Don't give up, Billy, you know you're right. Don't give up, you know that I am on your side. Don't give up, oh Billy, you better run for your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sarah Silverman and Senator Al Franken.
Remember me? I'm Senator Al Franken, and this past year, I've been #I'm with her.
And I'm Sarah Silverman, and this past year I've been feeling the burn. Relax, I put some cream on it.
What'd you say?
I said I put some cream on it.
You see, Sarah's the comedian, so she gets the joke, and I'm the politician now, so I get to make what's known as an ask. But trust me, it's a good ask. You see, if you go to HillaryClinton.com before midnight tonight and join the team, you can be not just #I'm with her in spirit, but #I'm with her literally. As in, you could win a trip to Philadelphia to be here on Thursday night when Hillary accepts the nomination. You see Sarah? That's even more fun than getting to get the joke.
Oh, well, you still got it.
Oh.
But while we're on the subject, can I make my speech now?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank you. Al, get out of my frame. As some of you may know, I support Bernie Sanders and the movement behind him. And Bernie's already succeeded in so many ways. He proved that Citizens United is in fact not a necessary evil. And by the way, Citizens United, isn't that such a beautiful name for something that means billionaires buying politicians? Good Lord. Rails against the very spirit of our democracy. And I'm very glad that Hillary has vowed to overturn it. Not only did Bernie wake us up, he made us understand what is possible and what we deserve. You know, my shrink says we don't get what we want, we get what we think we deserve. And Bernie showed us that all of America's citizens deserve quality health care and education, not just the wealthy elite. I know, it sounds so obvious. Who wouldn't agree with that? But yet it's not what's been happening. You know, I happen to believe the crazy notion that people who maybe weren't born with the same opportunities as you and me should be given the same opportunities as you and me. And all it takes to accomplish this is everyone, is all of us. Or as a pretty kick-ass woman once said, it takes a village. This Democratic primary was exemplary. No name calling, no comments about the size of candidates' hands or ethnicity or how much they sweat or if they go to the bathroom. Inside secret, they do. That stuff is for third graders. Come on. That's like major arrested development stuff. That's I'm still emotionally for and calling people names from my gold-encrusted sandbox because I was given money instead of human touch or coping tools stuff. But I digress. I've just been told to stretch. Hillary heard the passion of the people behind Bernie, and brought those passions into the party's platform. And that is the process of democracy at its very best. And it's very cool to see. Hillary is our Democratic nominee, and I will proudly vote for her. It's so inspiring. Just a few years ago, she was a secretary, and now she's going to be president. I mean, come on. She's like the only person ever to be overqualified for a job as the president. So I tell you this, I will vote for Hillary with gusto. As I continue to be inspired and moved to action by the ideals set forth by Bernie, who will never stop fighting for us. I am proud to be a part of Bernie's movement, and a vital part of that movement is making absolutely sure that Hillary Clinton is our next president of the United States. Booyah, Baba Booey.
Gee, that was pretty good, Sarah. Hillary.
Unity.
Hillary.
The Bernie, can I just say, to the Bernie or bust people, you're being ridiculous. They told us to stretch, so I figured I'd add that. They made me cut off my speech, and now we have to stretch. Oh, I have so much I want to say.
Well, okay, what? Listen to that. Listen to what you did. This is a comedian. This is the power of comedy.
Thank God they can fix this in post.
You know, we have been. I want to thank you because Sarah and I have been asked to stretch because we are about to introduce someone that we're both huge fans of. How are we doing, guys? We close? Well, we'll see. You know, Sarah, what I love about us both being here is that it's like we're a bridge.
How do you figure that out? How do you figure that we're a bridge?
Well, you were for Bernie.
Right.
I'm for Hillary, so we are like a bridge over troubled.
Oh, good Lord. Are they ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Simon.
when you're weary, you're feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. When times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. And when you're down and out, when you're on the street, yes, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you, I will comfort you, I'll take your part. When darkness comes and pain is all around, oh, just like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine, and all your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. And if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a bridge over troubled water.
In many ways, we are a shining city on a hill. The hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. But there's another part to the shining city. The part where some people can't pay their mortgages, and most young people can't afford one. where students can't afford the education they need and middle-class parents watch the dreams.
Double digits, which you probably will. You can vote for Bernie when we have our vote here.
Edge. And he said, who cares about what the audience wants to hear? It's about what you need to say. I remember going to Washington and begging for dollars for drug treatment. I remember making the case to the Congress over and over. My God, we do not produce heroin in the Bronx. We do not create cocaine in Queens. So I beg you, not for an army, not for a navy, not for prisons, just a little money for treatment. Just a little money to save these children who were lost because of your failure. These battles were for real consequences and made a difference to real people. Those who endorse legalized abortions aren't a ruthless, callous alliance of anti-Christians determined to overthrow our moral standards. In many cases, the proponents of legal abortion are the very people who have...
Apparently, people are getting beer. I think it's a good idea to get everybody's well up. In and out, there's nobody over there.
I can only... In my hands, I don't know why.
Democratic commitment. Politics of inclusion. Opportunity for all people, not just the fit and the fortunate. All people from whatever color, of whatever creed, of whatever sex, of whatever sexual orientation. All of them equal members of the American family.
Look, what's going to happen now? The guy,
The universe. Your job is to make it I think my father still lives in the hope of a young boy sitting in a failing public school. The spirit lives in a young girl, pregnant and alone and in trouble. The spirit lives in all those outside, still living in the shadow of opportunity and still striving for their chance to join the family of New York. We must make the American people hear our tale of two cities. We must convince them we don't have to settle for two cities. We can have one city, indivisible, shining for all its people. Please make this nation of our future safe.
So it was on stretch because it was so loud.
They're just like, they'll figure out a way and they're going to hurry time.
So you see that guy in the purple shirt holding up the hand that says Twitter? Farm over in the purple shirt?
Yeah.
Do you know him?
No.
He's Sebastian. He's an elected Bernie delegate. Like delegate, but he's being introduced.
dear friend Cory Booker. Before I do, I want you to take a look at your convention, Philadelphia. A Latina from South Texas is introducing the first black senator from New Jersey. On the week, we'll nominate our first woman candidate for president of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Cory Booker.
They're not letting us stand in the aisles.
Our forefathers gathered in this very city, and they declared for the world that we would be a free and independent nation. Today, we gather here again in this city of brotherly love, to reaffirm our values before our nation and the whole world. Our purpose is not like theirs to start a great nation, but to ensure that we continue in the best of our traditions. And with humble honor, generations of patriots before, we put forth two great Americans, our nominees for President and Vice President, Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine.
That's why I had to get out.
Everything. We may be in a corner. We may be in the dark.
No, they can fucking hear us.
They can fucking hear. They put forth the idea that all are created equal, that we have inalienable rights.
They give us Bernie.
I'm so proud that upon this faithful foundation that we built a great nation. And today, no matter who you are, rich or poor, Asian or white, man or woman, gay or straight, any religion or none at all, you are entitled to the full rights and responsibilities of citizenship. This city, our founders put forth a Declaration of Independence, but let me tell you, they also made a historic Declaration of Interdependence. They knew that if this country was to survive and thrive, we had to make an unusual commitment to each other. Look, I respect and value the ideals of individualism and self-reliance. But rugged individualism didn't defeat the British. It didn't get us to the moon. It didn't build our nation's highways. Rugged individualism didn't map the human genome. We did that together. Yes. And so this is the high call of patriotism. Patriotism is love of country, but you can't love your country without loving your countrymen and your countrywomen. We must be there for each other. We must empower each other. We must find the common ground, and we must build bridges across our differences to pursue the common good. Let me tell you, we cannot devolve into a nation where our highest aspirations are that we just tolerate each other. We are not called to be a nation of tolerance. We are called to be a nation of love. That's why that last line of the Declaration of Independence says it so clearly. It says that we must, to make this nation work, we must mutually pledge to each other our lives and our fortunes and our sacred honor. Tolerance is the wrong way. Tolerance says, I'm just going to stomach your right to be different. That if you disappear from the face of the earth, I'm no better or worse off. But love knows that every American has worth and value, and no matter what their background, no matter what their race or religion or sexual orientation, love recognizes that we need each other, that we as a nation are better together, that when we are divided, we are weak, we decline, yet when we are united, we are strong. When we are indivisible, we are invincible. This is the understanding of love that's embodied in one of my favorite sayings. It's an African saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. This is the reason why I am so motivated in this election, because I believe that this election is a referendum on who best embodies the leadership we need to go far together. Donald Trump is not that leader. We've watched him try to get laughs at other people's expense, try to incite fear at a time we need to inspire courage, try to rise in the polls by dragging our national conversation into the gutter. We've watched him mock, cruelly mock the journalist disability. We've watched him demean the service of my Senate colleagues, saying he's not a war hero. He was a war hero because he was captured. Trump said, I don't like people who get captured. Would he say that to POWs from World War II? Would he say that to POWs from Vietnam? Would he say that to the brave men and women in Iraq and Afghanistan right now, risking capture or worse? That's not commander-in-chief. We've watched Donald Trump make the broad proclamation Mexican immigrants who came to build a better life in America are, in his words, bringing crime and bringing drugs. Oh, many of them rapists. He says that an Indiana born federal judge can't be trusted to do his job because of his Mexican ancestry, a statement that his fellow Republicans have described as racist. We've watched Donald Trump. Our children, our daughters, our nieces and grandkids have watched Donald Trump and heard him calling women degrading and demeaning names. Dog, in fact, these disgusting animals. It is a twisted hypocrisy when he treats other women in a manner he would never, ever accept from another man's his daughter.
Who won fairly? Who won fairly? Who won fairly? Nobody. Nobody. So you can't say she won fairly. He was cheating, and we're pissed. You have to give us that.
And regardless if Hillary had any part of it, the fact of the matter is the thumbprint on the scale is there. You know, because the email.
DNC just apologized to Bernie online. Debbie Wasserman had to step down. Of course, she was hired right back by Hillary. So where was the disgrace there? But it's awful. It's awful. And it doesn't.
She wasn't hired. You can't hire.
She's a surrogate.
You can't hire a member of Congress.
She's a surrogate. She's a surrogate.
So she's a surrogate.
Yeah.
But she was.
But wouldn't you think that best idea would be to get away from her as far as possible? Wouldn't that be the best strategic move? You're toxic, Debbie. Get away from me. But to bring her in the next day, that's hard to me.
About Debbie for months, if not years.
Let me say this.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been friends a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. They've been friends a very long time. And the one thing that you don't do is you don't ever walk away from your friend. If you leave your friend, what kind of person leaves a friend when they're at their lowest?
When a Trump presidency is on the line. See, and it could have been afterwards.
Members from Trump today. Double digits.
It's a natural balance out of the convention.
No, not 15 points.
That's not a bomb.
You
gotta think about this. Think about this. Polls are snapshots in time. They're static moments. So that poll was actually taken during their convention. It wasn't taken 2 days after. It takes you 4 days to complete a poll.
In this room.
I see this room.
Okay, look in this room. A good, probably 35-40% don't want Hillary. This is her own party. And then you have all the Republicans and Libertarians. And the independents that saw Bernie got cheated. She doesn't have the numbers.
So you're telling me that right now, if we all change our mind and vote
I'm saying today, tomorrow, if we were to vote, Trump would win.
That's why you go out and
you're fine. You're fine. I'm
Okay.
And so we're to trust the DNC for this? We're to trust the DNC to do this? Run it?
We have an obligation to pay it forward.
The DNC is not the enemy. The DNC is not a bad place. The DNC is made up of Democrats.
Okay, well, there's some bad Democrats.
Okay, so they're good people and they're bad people everywhere.
Okay, but when there's corruption and when somebody does a bunch of stuff wrong, you do not hire them to head your campaign.
She didn't get hired to head the campaign.
She's a surrogate.
She's like a surrogate for like the 50 state system.
We're all here together. Yeah, we're all here together.
The problem is there's unity with, we're tired of the corruption. That's it.
All we wanted was an acknowledgement for our help.
More election fraud this election than ever before. We're not going to sit by and be passive and Hillary freaking stole it. Sorry, she stole it. 13 states, exit polls were off more than ever in history. Over 20%.
We're all in this together.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm going to be passionate, I'm going to be fiery, and I'm going to attack on this.
We've all lost.
What?
And so, it just,
I'm not attacking that way. I mean,
when you're willing to turn your passion towards winning.
And I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
So the question is, do you want to win big or do you want to lose big?
Well, that's the question I would ask the DNC. Do they want to win big or squeak in?
270 is 270, no matter how you get it.
Right. But he's behind in Florida by an actual poll.
Democratic. I want this to be democratic, so I'm going to fight for it to be democratic.
4 weeks out, by 17 points. He won it by 300.
Why do you want to take that risk when Trump's on the line?
It's not a risk.
Bernie wins everything.
It's work. It's not a risk. It's work. And if you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and do the hard work, then this business isn't.
Well, the thing about it is we're fighting right now. We're fighting it right now.
That's what's driving us.
Yeah, and it said the system has been corrupt. Yeah.
Look, there were
You're not gonna let me
there
over
were
there.
people like you in the system 10, 20 years ago. There were people like me in the system 10, 20 years ago. We had to fight our way to the table.
No, we're not here for this.
We're still fighting.
So you have to keep fighting.
Right, absolutely. And I'm a pragmatic person. I want to win. That's what I want to do. And Trump is not. Trump is a scary thing. Bernie is not a flawed candidate like Hillary is. My father, who's a conservative Republican, never voted the Democrat in his entire life, said he hates Trump, but he hates Hillary more, and he wishes that we pick Bernie because he wanted to vote for Bernie.
And so that's just
How? They shut down polls in super populated areas to almost like 1/10 of what they originally were. They put stricter laws on student ID cards and student IDs
And that's what we have to do
stupid
more.
areas.
Listen to each other.
They had numbers. They literally had certain numbers up on the election thing, and they dropped votes from Bernie, and they went to Clinton. Literally dropped in front of our faces. You did not watch polls and say there was no election fraud.
I did.
And you say there's no election. I'm sorry, I can't understand that. I can't.
No, what you're saying is
2% shows there's a problem. The statistics prove me correct.
Do you remember the exit polls? Do you remember the exit polls when President Obama beat Romney in 2012? Do you remember the exit polls?
They're not over 20-something percent.
Just answer the question. Do you remember the
I don't remember. No, I don't remember the exact thing. I don't remember the exact thing.
They were so significant. And the change is needed in the system. This campaign was convinced. Internally, they were convinced they had won.
Because of exit polls?
Yeah. So I'm not. I can't debate you on the merits.
I'm sorry, but they've cut polling places. In my own area, we didn't have a polling places last year. They didn't count votes. The only reason I'm here is because a Bernie person went in and watched ballots. We literally went in and watched.
By the way, I'm a lawyer. I've done election watching.
Yeah.
My entire career as a lawyer. All I would say to you, because I can't debate you on that. But I would say there is a strong precedent for exit polls being
People that are watching also said that they're
not to
liberal.
dismiss the other things you're saying,
They're
but that is
They say over a certain amount proves that there's corruption. Like,
that's also that
I guess think about it. The point that you're making about people wanting to vote or not wanting to vote for Hillary. If Bernie were the person, you have a group of people saying the same thing.
Absolutely, but they still have to run a campaign against Bernie. Everybody that hates Hillary. They hate her more than just as much as Trump, but they already do. Only 3% of America doesn't know who Hillary is. But Bernie, if they want to run a hate campaign on Bernie, it's going to take a lot of money, and that's not what Trump has. Trump doesn't have money to run a full-fledged campaign to attack Bernie as far as he doesn't have to do very much for Hillary because emails, servers, you name it, there's a scandal. And be it be right or wrong,
so what we're trying to say is that
true or not, it's the reality.
201 years ago, an English king said he would crush our republic.
It's too risky. I want to say this.
Save your energy.
thousands and thousands of people were dropped from the rolls, including me. Honestly,
So what I'm saying is,
I didn't even look for the
why take that chance with the first woman president when she may lose to the worst athlete that probably has been running president in political history. And then if she loses, now let's look at it. If she loses, she'll be labeled as a loser, and it's a woman. And it's going to be a setback for women everywhere. But if she is a popular woman,
but if we all work together, she won't lose.
That's where I'm afraid.
Hey, we have 4 days. We're going to lose your voice. If we all work together, we won't lose. She won't lose. And it's not she won't lose, we won't lose. If we all work together, we won't lose. And that's what the goal is. goal is for us all.
Sure. But it's amazing how people.
Well, I hope you're right for the sake of our friends.
I hope so too. Which is why I'm gonna put it all on the line. And
But if you don't, you owe me a drink. If we're still allowed in the bar.
If we're still allowed in the bar, I owe you a drink. All right. Oh, I know it's not.
Yeah, there's dead people voting for Hillary.
Evil to be triumphant is for good people to do nothing. You know the saying. My fellow Americans, we cannot be seduced by cynicism about our politics. Because cynicism is a refuge for cowards. And this nation is, and must always be, the home of the brave. We are the United States of America. We will not falter or fall. We will not retreat or surrender. Our values, we will not surrender. Our ideas, we will not surrender the moral high ground. Here in Philadelphia,
we don't lie.
Let us declare again that we will be a free people, free from fear and intimidation. Let us declare again that we are a nation of independence.
Fear propaganda. They didn't hand out any Bernie signs. They said they only were going to for the speech.
Everything is fear. This whole goddamn party's about fear. This whole party's been about fear. The entire party's about fear. Yeah, here we go.
Please find out, because there's some people that aren't.
Another fucking country. There we go.
We are. Right here. Yeah, we're California.
In September of 2007, I woke up to a knock on the door.
Yeah, I don't know about everybody here, but us right here.
This is to inform me that commands our future document for I did receive money to take care of me and my son. I needed to do something good with it. I need to be wise with it. When your spouse dies and decisions have to be made, it can be paralyzing because you don't want to make a mistake.
At Trump University, we teach success. That's what it's all about. Success.
Every single
this program was that Donald Trump himself, who's already successful, is going to teach others.
Can you at least admit
We're gonna find each other. We're gonna find each other and grab a drink. All right.
During the initial free seminar, they will tell you that they can help her do your business. The only package that was offered was the $35,000 package. I realized this is not what I signed up for. Within a week, I called the person who's supposed to be mentoring me. I got absolutely no help whatsoever.
Many instructors and mentors have no experience buying or selling real estate.
One sales executive testified the whole focus of Trump University was on selling.
Even to single mothers with 3 children who, quote, may need money for food.
When you make a mistake like this, it's very embarrassing. I'm a single mother with a kiddo who depends on me.
Jesse, you need to get one of those signs and do that.
Not by treating people respectfully. I can't see him helping anyone but himself.
We're not scared when it comes to bombs, but we're scared of a racist.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense? We're not scared of bombs, but we're scared of a racist. You know what I mean?
Weapons to terrorists.
Yeah, but we're not scared about bombing other people. We're just scared about a racist.
We're here to be rude. There's always something to fear.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect that. On top of grieving the loss of my husband and trying to take care of my baby, I lost my commitment to
I'm getting really annoyed.
You just saw what happened to
That's the kind of video that
excuse me.
Oh, if he doesn't speak it.
How they put promises, how they stopped taking my calls, how the whole thing. Like I'm really out of the money on military bases after my husband died. I felt like Trump University was disrespecting Jonathan's movement. I was furious, frightened, and the truth is, I was embarrassed. The worst part is that I wasn't
Bombs, but we're scared of a racist. Really?
When did that start happening? When did our party turn into that?
That's what they want you to believe. I mean, come on.
When did those tactics come into play on our side?
So there is a chant that they want to do called Heal Not Heal.
Now it's all
hard-working, middle-class teachers, police officers, even veterans. These are folks just like me who didn't have a lot.
Spread the word.
But who were told that if they paid for Donald Trump's program, they might be able to
Are you a whip?
better
Anybody that can send this to other delegates?
I was, but the thing is, I'm supposed to be one of the unity people. So basically, but
Angel, Jesse, read.
You read that and hand it back, please.
Yeah. So when it comes to
by cheating,
Nobody we don't know. People still it.
What kind of man does that?
And they don't have any power. So I'm telling them, we're supposed to be able to talk to them, and they were just like, oh, we can't get that done. So just make sure that people don't make it. Like that's
it's not easy for me to get up here and tell my.
How about
It's a
you
unity for the Bernie Sanders people, not Hillary people.
It's like, how about you?
Are any of you whips that can send that to other delegates?
Hey, you know what? I have Fire Chat.
Fire Chat?
Yeah.
Do you want my number so I can copy into?
Yeah.
Do you have Fire Chat?
I don't have my
Hold on, let me send this to him.
Right versus wrong. It's about someone who helps ordinary people no matter what it takes. Versus someone
Hold on,
who
619.
helps himself no matter who it hurts.
46 20.
Donald Trump made big promises about Trump University. And I was pulled into believing. Now, he's making big promises about America.
My name's Luis, by the way, Illinois. Can't be down there anymore. There's no seats. Thank you. Here. LUIS, EGUILER. Are you looking me up on Facebook? My middle name is Eric with the C.
We know that our journey is far from finished. It starts with each of us taking responsibility for ourselves and our families.
I kind of grew up without my mom. Just her being the first lady, it was really important. She's someone that we could look up to.
The first lady has inspired me to become a stronger, more happy and independent young female. Young people are our future, and she gives us hope, and she gives me hope personally.
She should be proud of how she treats the country's kids as her own.
Days like this make me think of my own daughters, so forgive me if I get a little teary.
I want to publicly thank the First Lady for being an inspiration to communities here in the United States and around the world.
just a woman standing next to a man.
She's making her own place in history.
If she was here right now, I would probably freak out.
I would tell her, "You did great."
I would tell her, "Thank you for looking out for me."
Thank you for making this country a better place.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome First Lady Michelle Obama.
Thank you so much. You know, it's hard to believe that it has been 8 years since I first came to this convention to talk with you about why I thought my husband should be president. Remember how I told you about his character and conviction, his decency and his grace, the traits that we've seen every day that he served our country in the White House. I also told you about our daughters, how they are the heart of our hearts, the center of our world, and during our time in the White House, we've had the joy of watching them grow from bubbly little girls into poised young women, a journey that started soon after we arrived in Washington, when they set off for their first day at their new school. I will never forget that winter morning as I watched our girls, just 7 and 10 years old, pile into those black SUVs with all those big men with guns. And I saw their little faces pressed up against the window, and the only thing I could think was, what have we done? See, because at that moment, I realized that our time in the White House would form the foundation for who they would become, and how well we managed this experience could truly make or break them. That is what Barack and I think about every day as we try to guide and protect our girls through the challenges of this unusual life in the spotlight. How we urge them to ignore those who question their father's citizenship or faith. How we insist that the hateful language they hear from public figures on TV does not represent the true spirit of this country. How we explain that when someone is cruel or acts like a bully, you don't stoop to their level. No, our motto is, when they go low, we go high. With every word we utter, with every action we take, we know our kids are watching us. We as parents are their most important role models. And let me tell you, Barack and I take that same approach to our jobs as President and First Lady, because we know that our words and actions matter, not just to our girls, but to children across this country. Kids who tell us, I saw you on TV, I wrote a report on you for school. Kids like the little black boy who looked up at my husband, his eyes wide with hope, and he wondered, is my hair like yours? And make no mistake about it, this November when we go to the polls, that is what we're deciding. Not Democrat or Republican, not left or right. No, in this election and every election, is about who will have the power to shape our children for the next 4 or 8 years of their lives. And I am here tonight because in this election, there is only one person who I trust with that responsibility. Only one person who I believe is truly qualified to be President of the United States, and that is our friend Hillary Clinton. That's right. See, I trust Hillary to lead this country because I've seen her lifelong devotion to our nation's children. Not just her own daughter, who she has raised to perfection, but every child who needs a champion. Kids who take the long way to school to avoid the gangs. Kids who wonder how they'll ever afford college. Kids whose parents don't speak a word of English but dream of a better life. Kids who look to us to determine who and what they can be. You see, Hillary has spent decades doing the relentless, thankless work to actually make a difference in their lives. Advocating for kids with disabilities as a young lawyer, fighting for children's health care as First Lady, and for quality child care in the Senate. And when she didn't win the nomination 8 years ago, she didn't get angry or disillusioned. Hillary did not pack up and go home, because as a true public servant, Hillary knows that this is so much bigger than her own desires and disappointments. So she proudly stepped up to serve our country once again as Secretary of State, traveling the globe to keep our kids safe. And look, there were plenty of moments when Hillary could have decided that this work was too hard, that the price of public service was too high, that she was tired of being picked apart for how she looks or how she talks or even how she laughs. But here's the thing. What I admire most about Hillary is that she never buckles under pressure. She never takes the easy way out. And Hillary Clinton has never quit on anything in her life. And when I think about the kind of president that I want for my girls and all our children, that's what I want. I want someone with the proven strength to persevere, someone who knows this job and takes it seriously. Someone who understands that the issues a president faces are not black and white and cannot be boiled down to 140 characters. Look, because when you have the nuclear codes at your fingertips and the military in your command, you can't make snap decisions. You can't have a thin skin or a tendency to lash out. You need to be steady and measured and well-informed. I want a president with a record of public service, someone whose life's work shows our children that we don't chase fame and fortune for ourselves. We fight to give everyone a chance to succeed. And we give back even when we're struggling ourselves, because we know that there is always someone worse off. And there, but for the grace of God, go I. I want a president who who will teach our children that everyone in this country matters. A president who truly believes in the vision that our founders put forth all those years ago, that we are all created equal, each a beloved part of the great American story. And when crisis hits, we don't turn against each other. No, we listen to each other. We lean on each other because we are always stronger together. And I am here tonight because I know that that is the kind of president that Hillary Clinton will be. And that's why in this election, I'm with her. You see, Hillary understands that the president is about one thing and one thing only. It's about leaving something better for our kids. That's how we've always moved this country forward, by all of us coming together on behalf of our children. Folks who volunteer to coach that team, to teach that Sunday school class, because they know it takes a village. Heroes of every color and creed who wear the uniform and risk their lives to keep passing down those blessings of liberty. Police officers and protesters in Dallas who all desperately want to keep our children safe. People who lined up in Orlando to donate blood because it could have been their son, their daughter in that club. Leaders like Tim Kaine, who show our kids what decency and devotion look like. Leaders like Hillary Clinton, who has the guts and the grace to keep coming back and putting those cracks in that highest and hardest glass ceiling until she finally breaks through, lifting all of us along with her. That is the story of this country, the story that has brought me to this stage tonight, the story of generations of people who felt the lash of bondage, the shame of servitude, the sting of segregation, but who kept on striving and hoping and doing what needed to be done so that today I wake up every morning in a house that was built by slaves. And I watch my daughters, two beautiful, intelligent black young women, playing with their dogs on the White House lawn. And because of Hillary Clinton, my daughters and all our sons and daughters now take for granted that a woman can be president of the United States. So look, don't let anyone ever tell you that this country isn't great, that somehow we need to make it great again, because this right now is the greatest country on earth. And as my daughters prepare to set out into the world, I want a leader who is worthy of that truth. A leader who is worthy of my girls' promise and all our kids' promise. A leader who will be guided every day by the love and hope and impossibly big dreams that we all have for our children. So in this election, we cannot sit back and hope that everything works out for the best. We cannot afford to be tired or frustrated or cynical. No, hear me. Between now and November, We need to do what we did 8 years ago and 4 years ago. We need to knock on every door. We need to get out every vote. We need to pour every last ounce of our passion and our strength and our love for this country into electing Hillary Clinton as President of the United States of America. So let's get to work. Thank you all, and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Representative Joseph Kennedy III from Massachusetts.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, guys. This is my first day of law school, my very first class. The goal? Escape unscathed. Not 3 seconds in, and I get the first question. Mr. Kennedy, what is the definition of a sumpsit? Mr. Kennedy, you realize a sumpsit is the very first word in your reading. Yeah, and I actually circled it because I didn't know what it meant. Mr. Kennedy, do you own a dictionary? That's what people do when they don't know what a word means. They look it up in a dictionary. I never showed up unprepared for Professor Elizabeth Warren ever again. She was the toughest teacher on campus, but the wait list for her class was a mile long. She pushed us hard. She brought out our best. She believed in us. And she believed in the law. Not as an abstraction, but as a living force with the power to make life better or worse. She taught us that its impact lay not in classrooms or textbooks, but in a society where wages have not budged in 40 years, where 2.5 million children are homeless, where we can expect 1 in 3 black men to go to prison. Our laws have human consequences. That fact fueled a law school professor to take on this country's most entrenched financial interests. It brought a middle-class champion back to a Massachusetts Senate seat. And it led a first-term U.S. Senator to become our government's gut check. In a sea of power and privilege, Senator Warren is an anchor for the voiceless and victimized. She asks more from all of us because she believes deeply in each of us. That faith in our country and the American people is the very foundation of our Democratic Party. It echoes through this arena tonight and through every classroom, living room, and hearing room that Senator Elizabeth Warren has ever touched. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you your senator, my senator, our senator, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Joe, and thank you, Massachusetts, for the great honor of serving as your senator. Thank you, guys. What a night. Wow. Michelle Obama, Cory Booker, and we still have Bernie coming up. Bernie reminds us what Democrats fight for every day. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you. Now, we are here tonight because America faces a choice, the choice of a new president. On one side is a man who inherited a fortune from his father and kept it going by cheating people, by skipping out on debts. A man who has never sacrificed anything for anyone. A man who cares only for himself every minute of every day. On the other side is one of the smartest, toughest, most tenacious people on this planet. A woman who fights for children, for women, for health care, for human rights. A woman who fights for all of us and who is strong enough to win those fights. We're here today because our choice is Hillary Clinton. I'm with Hillary. I'm with Hillary. I'm with Hillary. You know, for me, this choice is personal. It's about who we are as a people. It's about what kind of a country we want to be. I grew up in Oklahoma. My daddy ended up as a maintenance man, and my mom worked a minimum wage job at Sears. My 3 brothers served in the military. The oldest was career, 288 combat missions in Vietnam. The second worked construction, and the third started his own small business. Me? I got married at 19, graduated from a commuter college in Texas that cost $50 a semester. The way I see it, I'm a janitor's daughter who became a public school teacher, a professor, and a United States Senator. America is truly a country of opportunity. Truly. I am deeply grateful to that America. I believe in that America, but I'm worried. I'm worried that my story is locked in the past, worried that opportunity is slipping away for people who work hard and play by the rules. I mean, look around. Americans bust their tails, some working 2 or 3 jobs, but wages stay flat. Meanwhile, the basic costs of making it from month to month keep going up. Housing, healthcare, childcare, the costs are out of sight. Young people are getting crushed by student loans. Working people are in debt. Seniors can't stretch a Social Security check to cover the basics. And even families who are okay today worry it could all fall apart tomorrow. This is not right. It is not. And here's the thing. America isn't going broke. The stock market is breaking records. Corporate profits are at all-time highs. CEOs make tens of millions of dollars. There's lots of wealth in America, but it isn't trickling down to hardworking families like yours. Does anyone here have a problem with that? Yeah, well, I do too. People get it. The system is rigged. You know, it's true. Now, so-called experts claim America is in trouble because both political parties in Washington refuse to compromise. Gridlock. That is just flat wrong. Washington works great for those at the top. When giant companies wanted more tax loopholes, Washington got it done. When huge energy companies wanted to tear up our environment, Washington got it done. When enormous Wall Street banks wanted new regulatory loopholes, Washington got it done. No gridlock there. But try to do something, anything for working people, and you'll have a fight on your hands. Democrats have taken on those fights. That's what we do. Democrats fought to get health insurance for more Americans. Democrats fought for a strong consumer agency so big banks can't cheat people. We fought, we won, and we improved the lives of millions of people. Thank you, Barack Obama. Yes, we won, but Republicans and lobbyists battled us every step of the way. 5 years later, that consumer agency has returned $11 billion to families who were cheated. And Republicans, they're still trying to kill it. Now look, I'm not someone who thinks that Republicans are always wrong and Democrats are always right. There's enough blame to go around. But there is a huge difference between people fighting for a level playing field and the people fighting to keep the system rigged. Look at Congress since the Republicans took over. Democrats proposed refinancing student loans, and Republicans, they said no. Democrats proposed ending tax breaks for corporations that ship jobs overseas, and Republicans, they said no. Democrats proposed raising the minimum wage, and Republicans, they said no. So to every Republican in Congress who said no, this November, the American people are coming for you. That's right. And where was Donald Trump? In all of these fights, not once did he lift a finger to help working people. And why would he? His whole life has been about taking advantage of that rigged system. Time after time, he preyed on working people, people in debt, people who had fallen on hard times. He's conned them, he's defrauded them, and he's ripped them off. Look at his history. Donald Trump said he was excited for the 2008 housing crash that devastated millions of American families because he thought it would help him scoop up more real estate on the cheap. Donald Trump set up a fake university to make money by cheating people and taking their life savings. Donald Trump goes on and on and on about being a successful businessman, but he filed business bankruptcy 6 times, always to protect his own money and stick the investors and contractors with the bill. Donald Trump hired plumbers and painters and construction workers to do hard labor for his businesses. Then he told them to take only a fraction of what he owed or fight his lawyers in court for years. So, what kind of a man acts like this? What kind of a man roots for an economic crash that cost millions of people their jobs, their homes, their life savings? What kind of a man cheats students, cheats investors, cheats workers? Well, I'll tell you what kind of a man. A man who must never be President of the United States. Never. And And we've got the leaders to make it happen. Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine. They're going to make it happen. You bet. Look, Donald Trump knows that the American people are angry. A fact so obvious he can see it from the top of the Trump Tower. So now he's insisting that he, and he alone, can fix the rigged system. Last week, Donald Trump spoke for more than an hour on the biggest stage he's ever had. But other than talking about building a stupid wall, which will never get built, other than that wall, did you hear any actual ideas? Did you hear even one solid proposal from Trump for increasing incomes or improving your kids' education or creating even one single good-paying job? Look, let's face it. Donald Trump has no real plans for jobs or for college kids or for seniors. No plans to make anything great for anyone except rich guys like Donald Trump. Just look at his ideas. Donald Trump wants to get rid of the federal minimum wage. Donald Trump wants to roll back financial regulations and turn Wall Street loose to wreck our economy again. And Donald Trump has a tax plan to give multimillionaires and billionaires like himself an average tax cut of $1.3 million a year. You know, you're struggling to put your kids through college, and Donald Trump thinks he needs a $1 million tax break. Trump's entire campaign is just one more late-night Trump infomercial. Hand over your money, your jobs, your children's future, and the great Trump hot air machine will reveal all the answers. And for one low, low price, he'll even throw in a goofy hat. And here's the really ugly underside to his pitch. Trump thinks he can win votes by fanning the flames of fear and hatred, by turning neighbor against neighbor, by persuading you that the real problem in America is your fellow Americans, people who don't look like you or don't talk like you or don't worship like you. He even picked a vice president famous for trying to make it legal to openly discriminate against gays and lesbians. That's Donald Trump's America, an America of fear and hate, an America where we all break apart. Whites against blacks and Latinos, Christians against Muslims and Jews, straight against gay, everyone against immigrants, race, religion, heritage, gender. The more factions, the better. But ask yourself this. When white workers in Ohio are pitted against black workers in North Carolina or Latino workers in Florida, who really benefits? Divide and conquer is an old story in America. Dr. Martin Luther King knew it. After his march from Selma to Montgomery, he spoke of how segregation was created to keep people divided. Instead of higher wages for workers, Dr. King described how poor whites in the South were fed Jim Crow, which told a poor white worker that, quote, no matter how bad off he was, at least he was a white man, better than the black man. Racial hatred was part of keeping the powerful on top. When we turn on each other, bankers can run our economy for Wall Street, oil companies can fight off clean energy, and giant corporations can ship the last good jobs overseas. When we turn on each other, rich guys like Trump can push through more tax breaks for themselves, and then we'll never have enough money to support our schools or rebuild our highways or invest in our kids' future. When we turn on each other, we can't unite to fight back against a rigged system. Well, I've got news for Donald Trump. The American people are not falling for it. We've seen this ugliness before, and we are not going to be Donald Trump's hate-filled America. Not now, not ever. This is about our values, about our shared values with our candidates, Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine. Let's talk about those values. We believe that no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter who you love, equal means equal. Hillary will fight to make sure discrimination has no place in America, and we're with her. We believe that no one who works full-time should live in poverty. Hillary will fight for raising the minimum wage, fair scheduling, paid family and medical leave, and we're with her. We believe every kid in America should have a chance for a great education without getting crushed by debt. Hillary will fight for refinancing student loans and debt-free college. We are with her. And we believe that after a lifetime of hard work, seniors should be able to retire with dignity. Hillary will fight to expand Social Security, strengthen Medicare, and protect our retirement accounts. And we're with her. We believe that oil companies shouldn't call the shots in Washington, that science matters, that climate change is real. Hillary will fight to preserve this earth for our children and grandchildren, and we're with her. We believe, and I can't believe I have to say this in 2016, in equal pay for equal work and a woman's right to control over her own body. Hillary will fight for women, and we're with her. We believe we don't need weaker rules on Wall Street. We need stronger rules. And when big banks get too risky, break them up. Hillary will fight to hold big banks accountable, and we're with her. And we believe that the United States should never sign trade deals that help giant corporations but leave workers in the dirt. Hillary will fight for American workers, and we're with her. Okay. And just one more. We believe we must get big money out of politics and root out corruption. Hillary will fight to overturn Citizens United and return this government to the people. If you believe that America must work for all of us, not just for the rich and powerful, if you believe we must reject the politics of fear and division, if you believe that we are stronger together, then let's work our hearts out to make Hillary Clinton the next president of the United States. Thank you.
Please welcome Representative Keith Ellison from Minnesota.
How you doing, Democrats? You know, tonight, my Democrats, we are united around the most progressive platform in history. The most progressive platform in history, a $15 an hour minimum wage, banning private prisons, expanding Social Security, the public option, and debt-free college tuition. That's the platform that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton wrote together. And that's the platform that we can make the law of the land if we stand together, if we work together, and if we vote together on November 8th. You know, Trump, he wants to divide and conquer us with his anti-Muslim, anti-Mexican, anti-worker message. They don't want us to vote. They want to push voter ID laws that block black and Latino voters. Paul Ryan won't even allow a vote to restore the Voting Rights Act. You know, we must push back. Voting is not a protest, it is a surrender. When they bring the fear, we bring the courage. When they bring the division, we gotta bring the unity, everybody. As a proud, and I said proud Bernie Sanders supporter, I will always remember feeling the burn in Minnesota. There's my Minnesotans over there. 6,000 in Duluth, 14,000 in St. Paul. Bernie sparked the beginning of a revolution, y'all. He packed them in from Davenport to Detroit, to your town and mine. 13 million Americans voted their progressive values, and millions more made an investment in building that movement $27 at a time. You know, together we call for climate justice. We call for racial justice. We call for wage justice. And you know what? We made our voices heard. And together, Democrats, we will make our voices heard in November when we defeat Donald Trump and elect Hillary Rodham Clinton to the next President of the United States of America. But tonight, let us raise our voices in gratitude to the man who has helped make this great party greater than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Bernie Tell me what democracy looks like! Let's be lovers when
Please welcome Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It is an honor. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is an honor to be here tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It is an honor to be here tonight and to be following in the footsteps of my good friend Elizabeth Warren, and to be here tonight to thank Michelle Obama for her incredible service to our country. She has made all of us proud. Let me begin by thanking the hundreds of thousands of Americans who actively participated in our campaign as volunteers. Thank you. Let me thank the 2.5 million Americans who helped fund our campaign with an unprecedented 8 million individual campaign contributions. Anyone know what that average contribution was? Right, $27. And let me thank the 13 million Americans who voted for the political revolution. Giving us the 1,846 pledged delegates here tonight. And delegates, thank you for being here. And thank you for all the work you have done. I look forward to your votes during the roll call tomorrow night. And let me offer a special thanks to the people of my own state of Vermont who have sustained me and supported me as a mayor, congressman, senator, and presidential candidate. And to my family, my wife Jane, our 4 kids, and 7 grandchildren, thank you very much. I understand that many people here in this convention hall and around the country are disappointed about the final results of the nominating process. I think it's fair to say that no one is more disappointed than I am. But to all of our supporters here and around the country, I hope you take enormous pride in the historical accomplishments we have achieved. Together, my friends, we have begun a political revolution to transform America, and that revolution, our revolution, continues. Election days come and go, but the struggle of the people to create a government which represents all of us and not just the 1%. A government based on the principles of economic, social, racial, and environmental justice. That struggle continues. And I look forward to being part of that struggle with you. Let me be as clear as I can be. This election is not about, and has never been about, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders or any of the other candidates who sought the presidency. This election is not about political gossip. It's not about polls. It's not about campaign strategy. It's not about fundraising. It is not about all the things that the media spends so much time discussing. This election is about and must be about the needs of the American people and the kind of future we create for our children and our grandchildren. This election is about ending the 40-year decline of our middle class. The reality that 47 million men, women, and children today live in poverty. It is about understanding that if we do not transform our economy, our younger generation will likely have a lower standard of living than their parents. This election is about ending the grotesque level of income and wealth inequality in America today. It is not moral, it is not acceptable, and it is not sustainable that the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Or that the top 1% in recent years has earned 85% of all new income. That is unacceptable. That must change. This election is about remembering where we were 7.5 years ago when President Obama came into office after 8 years of Republican trickle-down economics. The Republicans want us to forget that as a result of the greed, recklessness, and illegal behavior on Wall Street, our economy was in the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. That's where we were. That is where we were. Some 800,000 people a month were losing their jobs. 800,000 people. We were running up a record-breaking deficit of $1.4 trillion. And by the way, the world's financial system was on the verge of collapse. That's where we were when President Obama came into office. Well, we have come a long way in the last 7.5 years, and I thank President Obama and Vice President Biden. I thank them for their leadership in pulling us out of that terrible recession. Yes, we have made progress, but I think we can all agree that much, much more needs to be done. This election is about which candidate understands the real problems facing this country and has offered real solutions. Not just bombast, not just fear-mongering, not just name-calling and divisiveness. We need leadership in this country which will improve the lives of working families, the children, the elderly, the sick, and the poor. We need leadership which brings our people together and makes us stronger. Not leadership which insults Latinos and Mexicans, insults Muslims and women, African Americans and veterans, and seeks to divide us up. By these measures, any objective observer will conclude that based on her ideas and her leadership, Hillary Clinton must become the next President of the United States. The choice This election is about a single mother, a single mom I saw in Nevada, who with tears in her eyes told me she was scared to death about the future because she and her daughter were not making it on the $10.45 an hour she was earning. This election is about that woman and the millions of other workers in this country who are struggling to survive on totally inadequate wages. Hillary Clinton understands that if someone in this country works 40 hours a week, that person should not be living in poverty. She understands that we must raise the minimum wage to a living wage. And she is determined to create millions of new jobs by rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure, our roads, bridges, water systems, and wastewater plants. But her opponent, Donald Trump, well, he has a very different point of view. He does not support raising the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, a starvation wage. While Trump believes in huge tax breaks, for billionaires, he believes that states should actually have the right to lower the minimum wage below $7.25. Brothers and sisters, this election is about overturning Citizens United. Citizens United is one of the worst Supreme Court decisions in the history of our country. That decision allows the wealthiest people in America, like the billionaire Koch brothers, to spend hundreds of millions of dollars buying elections and in the process undermine American democracy. Hillary Clinton will nominate justices to the Supreme Court who are prepared to overturn Citizens United. And end the movement toward oligarchy that we are seeing in this country. Her Supreme Court appointments will also defend a woman's right to choose, workers' rights, the rights of the LGBT community, the needs of minorities and immigrants, and the government's ability to protect our environment. If you don't believe that this election is important, if you think you can sit it out take a moment to think about the Supreme Court justices that Donald Trump would nominate. And what that would mean to civil liberties, equal rights, and the future of our country. This election is about the thousands of young people I have met all over this country. The thousands that I have met who left college deeply in debt, and tragically the many others who cannot afford to go to college. During the primary campaign, Secretary Clinton and I both focused on this issue, but with somewhat different approaches. Recently, however, we have come together on a proposal that will revolutionize higher education in America. It will guarantee that the children of any family in this country with an annual income of $125,000 a year or less, 83% of our population will be able to go to a public college or university tuition free. That proposal also substantially reduces student debt. This election is about climate change, the great environmental crisis facing our planet, and the need to leave this world in a way that is healthy and habitable for our children and future generations. Hillary Clinton is listening to the scientists who tell us that unless we act boldly to transform our energy system in the very near future, there will be more drought, more floods, more acidification of the oceans, more rising sea levels. She understands that we can create hundreds of thousands of jobs transforming our energy system. Donald Trump, well, like most Republicans, he chooses to reject science. He believes that climate change is a hoax, no need to address it. Hillary Clinton understands that a president's job is to worry about future generations, not the profits of the fossil fuel industry. This campaign is about moving the United States toward universal health care. And reducing the number of people who are uninsured or underinsured. Hillary Clinton wants to see that all Americans have the right to choose a public option in their health care exchange. She believes that anyone 55 or older should be able to opt in to Medicare. And she wants to see millions more Americans gain access to primary health care, dental care, mental health counseling, low-cost prescription drugs through a major expansion of community health centers. And what is Donald Trump's position on health care? Well, no surprise there. Same old Republican contempt for working families. He wants to abolish the Affordable Care Act, throw 20 million people off of health insurance, and cut Medicaid for lower-income Americans. Hillary Clinton also understands that millions of seniors, disabled vets, and others are struggling with the outrageously high cost of prescription drugs, and the fact that Americans pay the highest prices in the world for the medicine we use. She knows that Medicare must negotiate drug prices with the pharmaceutical industry. And that drug companies should not be making billions in profit when 1 out of 5 Americans are unable to afford the medicine they need. The greed of the drug companies must end. This election is about the leadership we need to pass comprehensive immigration reform and repair a broken criminal justice system. It's about making sure that young people in this country are in good schools and at good jobs, not rotting in jail cells. Hillary Clinton understands that we have to invest in education and jobs for our young people, not more jails or incarceration. In these stressful times for our country, this election must be about bringing our people together, not dividing us up. While Donald Trump is busy insulting one group after another, Hillary Clinton understands that our diversity is one of our greatest strengths. Yes, we become stronger when black and white, Latino, Asian American, Native American, when all of us stand together. Yes, we become stronger when men and women, young and old, gay and straight, native born and immigrant, fight together to create the kind of country we all know we can become. It is no secret that Hillary Clinton and I disagree on a number of issues. That is what this campaign has been about. That is what democracy is about. But I'm happy to tell you that at the Democratic Platform Committee, there was a significant coming together between the two campaigns, and we produced by far the most progressive platform in the history of the Democratic Party. Among many, many other strong provisions, the Democratic Party now calls for breaking up the major financial institutions on Wall Street, and the passage of a 21st Century Glass-Steagall Act. It also calls for strong opposition to job-killing trade agreements like the TPP. Our job right. We have got to make sure that TPP does not get to the floor of the Congress in the lame duck session. Our job now is to see that strong Democratic platform implemented by a Democratic-controlled Senate, by a Democratic House, and a Hillary Clinton presidency. And I am going to do all that I can to make that happen. I have known Hillary Clinton for 25 years. I remember her, as you do, as a great First Lady who broke precedent in terms of the role that a First Lady was supposed to play as she helped lead the fight for universal health care. I served with her in the United States Senate and know her as a fierce advocate for the rights of children, for women, and for the disabled. Hillary Clinton will make an outstanding president, and I am proud to stand with her tonight. Thank you all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rabbi Julie Schoenfeld of White Plains, New
We're not
York.
going to continue to stand here and just take it. We're grieving right now, and they need to understand that. You guys are great, and I'm going to continue to record the rest
God
of this.
of goodness.
People are pretty much wrapped out.
You have given a
and ready to leave.
beautiful earth to all humankind and a beautiful country to the American
that's
people.
about it. I'm going to play the
You
rest
have
of it, but
given
thank
us
you guys.
our minds to discern your truth and the means to preserve and protect your gifts. God of compassion, show us the way to improve the lives of our fellow Americans. Remind us that our greatest achievements begin by helping each of us to build a good life, to have the opportunity to work and to contribute, to care for ourselves and our families, to raise up our children with proper health care and a good education, and to age with wisdom and dignity. God of healing, comfort us in the difficult days that have marked this turbulent summer in our country and around the world. Guide our hands to reach out towards one another, certain in the truth that what unites us is greater than anything that divides us. Let us keep the faith that the healing of our wounds will make us stronger than ever. God of strength, safeguard this great nation and our allies. Watch over the brave who protect us here and abroad. Guide our leaders in wisdom and experience to protect our nation and our values against those who would threaten us. Bring us closer together to understand our challenges and to overcome them. God, who is great, mighty, and awesome,
in a season so filled with chatter of who is great and what is great and what shall be great. Let us remember Scripture's clear, simple explanation of greatness. God is the great, the mighty, and the awesome, for God defends the cause of the widow and the orphan and loves the stranger residing among you. This is God's greatness, and this is the greatness the American people must strive to imitate. God of history, help us to understand that this is the most important election
with her,
of our lives. Help us to recognize that the gift,
California with an unelected official, our affordable education. On behalf, representing the 36th congressional district, we are.
Californians look like they're very divided tonight, though. There's a lot of
divided. We're not divided. We're united. We're not divided. No, we're not.
I saw young people here holding up signs saying "Stop her."
No, the majority. No, not at all. Not the majority. Not the majority.
Not the majority of California delegates.
Value created.
Now we have a lot of delegates from California.
Help us to choose.
But Hillary
to walk in
has
your ways, which are
more delegates than Bernie did. But the good news is we knew we were going to live here united tonight, and we did. So this is the ultimate way to end our night. So he's with her, we're with her, we're all with her. So it is unity. So together we are going home as one. So it's over. So let the news know Democrats are united. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, we're taking the White House. We're taking the Senate, and we're taking the Congress. Are you with her?
I'm with her. We're with her as delegates on behalf of the California. We're not divided. We're united. We're a Democrat platform on united. We want to have peace, hope. We're not about fear. We're not about.
How do you think you're going to bring some of these young people with you, though, who clearly feel very emotional? I mean, we didn't just hear they were crying during that speech.
You know what it is? I honestly, I have a 12-year-old that I brought with me on this journey. So their fight is my fight. But you see, you have to make them understand. We want affordable education. They want free everything, but we have to train them. Nothing is really free. If we run our government on free of everything, then where is the money going to come from? So that is what we need to now bring them together and start educating them that together we will work together, at least the minimum wage. So our platform is great. So we are united, and we do have a great progressive platform.
You got this roll call vote tomorrow, though. How do you think that's going to go down?
I think it's going to be one united in togetherness. As an educator and as a student advocate for the 36th Congress, I represent the students and everyone. We're all representing a united front. We don't want a platform of fear in the United States. The United States is built on innovation, and for the next, we all believe that. We want hope in our country and togetherness. We're not one America, we're together.
What's your name, please?
My name is Mary Jane Sanchez. I represent the 36th Congressional District, and I'm a California whip.
And what's your surname, please?
Sanchez Fulton.
What's your name, please?
My name is Chinyere Nnadem Jack.
Okay.
And I need to add one more thing.
Can you just spell your name, please?
CHINYERE, last name NNODIM-Jack, JACK. And on one note, if you watched all of us tonight, you will see some of them are already with us. So we are already making progress, and we are talking to them. So we'll be okay. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you. Okay, so an optimistic note from those people. They clearly believe that the divisions in the Bernie camp can be overcome, and for their sake, we hope they're right. Okay, let's try and speak to this person up here. I think I see someone who was very emotional during the speech. Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me. Thank you.
My pad.
Thank you. Excuse me, miss. You have a moment, please.
Sure. Can you come to room 101? We're going to have a press conference, all the Bernie delegates.
Sure. It will just take 2 minutes. We're with the New York Times.
I got to run, but please come to the press conference. It's going to be like really, really a big deal. Please come.
Okay, let's walk up and... So that young woman who we just spoke to was standing on the edge of the step, completely rapt during Bernie Sanders' speech. She had tears in her eyes for much of the speech, and my sense was that it was pretty clear she was one of the people who was very disappointed, actually, that Bernie Sanders is endorsing Hillary Clinton. She was joining in the calls from people who made it clear that they do not want Hillary Clinton to get the nomination, and still seem to believe somehow that they can overcome the nomination, even though, according to the math, that's just not possible at this point. Okay, so we're going to keep moving up.
I think this is what's going to happen. This is what we're done.
I can't wait. Amy, I'm lost. I'm so lost.
Well, I mean, ideally, I'm looking to speak to some of the. We've spoken to several Sanders supporters who are supporting Hillary Clinton, but at this point, it would be good to speak to some of those people who are still on the other side of the argument, are refusing to endorse her. But I think a lot of them seem to have perhaps gone for this room 101. Well, let's try this person over here. Okay, you ready to climb? Let's.
So, you got a little emotional while Bernie was talking. You also took you quite a little journey to go to here today in 100-degree weather.
That's a joy, right? I think I'm going to try and go down there to the floor and show you guys around.
Well, we have a little problem. Are you in a position to speak, miss? Great.
You got him?
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
So, sorry, yes, I saw you with that sticker on your face during the talk. We're journalists with the New York Times. Can you tell us why do you have that sticker on your face?
All right. Hey. I'm doing another Facebook Live. Say hi.
Even though you can tell the yeas and nays are really close to each other, we don't even know if we're really going to get a roll call vote for the nomination, even though Bernie's still a delegate. We just feel like we're here, but what's the point if they're not even going to give us a chance to fight for Bernie? The convention's supposed to be the last stop where delegates actually get to vote on the nominee as an elected delegate from my district, but I feel like we're not actually getting that opportunity. Everything went very fast. You know, Bernie's name wasn't mentioned until he got on stage. We heard Trump's name so much more than Bernie's, and Bernie's still a nominee. And it seems like the party is just completely ignoring us.
What did you think about what Bernie had to say?
It was his typical speech. I think I've heard that speech about 4 times now ever since he endorsed Hillary Clinton. It was the same speech he gave when he endorsed Hillary Clinton. It was the same speech he gave to his delegates on a conference call the night after he endorsed Hillary Clinton. It was the same speech he gave earlier today to his delegates.
But he wants you to support his endorsement of Hillary Clinton, right?
He said that so that he didn't lose his superdelegate status and so that he could still be here on the convention floor. If he hadn't endorsed her, he would have lost his status and he would not even have been here at all.
So you don't think he's actually he wants to support Hillary Clinton, he's just doing it because he feels he has to?
I don't think he wants to. I think it's definitely just, he's a senator, he wants to still be an effective senator after this, and our political system is so fucked up that he had to do that, otherwise he would have gotten shut out of Senate.
What's going on within your delegation? You're from California. There seems to be a lot of division in your delegation. We spoke to other people just now who say that, you know, it's time for all Bernie supporters to come together behind Hillary and support her to keep Donald Trump out of the White House. What do you say to that?
As a Californian, my vote doesn't matter unless I vote for Trump, and I'm not voting for Trump anyway. So
there was a lot of drama earlier on in the day with the breakfast that Debbie Wasserman Schultz spoke at. Were you there? Were you present for that?
DWS spoke at the Florida one, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was not. I'm from California, so I was at our own. We had our own little protest against Alex Padilla, the Secretary of State, because there's still 1 million uncounted votes in California right now. And because the Secretary of State, when they trained all of the poll workers, specifically told poll workers to give no party preference voters provisional ballots, which is not what they're supposed to do. If you request a Democratic ballot, you should be getting a real Democratic ballot, and a lot of those provisional ballots didn't get counted. So,
what are the feelings?
What happens tomorrow?
Bernie Sanders
with the nomination vote, I vote for Bernie Sanders on the floor. I was elected by people that voted for Bernie Sanders. I am here to vote for Bernie Sanders.
Do you think that these, divisions within your group can be healed eventually?
No, I don't. I think that it's a difference between people who still believe in the establishment and people who believe that we need to change the establishment. As much as I am really frustrated with this party, I am going to try to change it from the bottom up. I'm not going to do a Dem exit yet. Dem exit, quote unquote, is what they're calling it. I give it a limited amount of
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Want you to go to room 101.
Okay.
Follow that delegation.
I think we should do it then.
Hey, can I grab you? Excuse me?
Can you let the audience know where we're going?
So we're on our way to room 101. We've just met some of the Saunders delegates who are, if you like, the Bernie holdouts. They're the ones who are saying they don't want to support Hillary Clinton come hell or high water. And they are apparently holding an impromptu press conference, as far as we can make out, to make their views known. So we're going to try and find room 101 to see what they've got to say. Yes. I mean, this is the exit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think this looks like it might be what we're looking for down here. I see a large group of people clustered in the hallway outside section 101. And they are chanting, "Hillary has to go." Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. So the slogan obviously is Bernie or bust. The interesting thing is that this is the slogan that Sarah Silverman in her speech earlier to the hall referred specifically to, and she said she addressed the people who are calling for who are saying Bernie or bust, and she said that it was a ridiculous thing to say at this point, I believe. And there was a very loud cheer that went through the entire room. But these young people seem to be undeterred by that. They're insisting that for them there's only one solution in this. There's only one candidate still worthy of support for the Democrats, and according to them, that's still Bernie Sanders. Okay. Let's just try and move out to the edge for a minute. So, it's really a measure of sort of emotions that this campaign has aroused inside the Democratic Party. You now have two sets of supporters, one for Bernie Sanders, the other for Hillary Clinton, and they're just starting to have effectively a shouting match over what should happen. The Bernie Sanders supporters, of course, are saying that a vote for Hillary is a vote for Trump. Now, that's clearly not going to be possible in this election, but what they are, of course, trying to say is that Hillary Clinton is as good as Donald Trump, and again, that's really just a measure of how deeply held the emotional divide is here, and how difficult that's going to be for the Democratic Party. Hillary Clinton wants to get these people behind her. She does not want to alienate them. Their votes, their energy, their enthusiasm is something that she feels that she's going to need in this election. Don't forget that the latest opinion polls show Hillary Clinton trailing Donald Trump. She needs as many votes. She needs to mobilize her own base as strongly as possible, and so all Democratic support, particularly young people like that, will be necessary. But it's been really difficult for her to persuade those young people to come on board. They say they don't trust her, they say they don't like her, and now they're saying that a vote for her is as good as a vote for Trump. So I think we should go and talk to a couple more people here.
The million that died since the war in Iraq that she voted for, that she didn't have the foresight or leadership to vote against.
Okay, no, that guy's a Bernie guy. I'd like to speak to one of these Hillary supporters, if they're not.
Sorry?
Do you have a moment?
Sure.
Journalist with the New York Times.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Tell us, what's the level of feeling among your group at this point?
I mean, I'm from Argentina. We're passionate about soccer. This is the same kind of passion that we have here. We know that Bernie is an amazing candidate. This is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He's brought us all together. We care about the issues. We care about the planet. We care about the future of this country. We do not want Trump to be in the White House. Hillary will lose to Trump. It's in all the polls. Historically, Hillary always tanks. We don't want that to happen, and we want Bernie to win. It's on the superdelegates. The ball is in their court. 1982, the superdelegates were created to avoid catastrophes like happened with Reagan and Carter. And now what are they doing? They're in bed with the oligarchy and the corrupt politicians that run the DNC today. You've seen it with Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Instead of her getting fired, she got promoted to now campaigning for Hillary Clinton. The party has been hijacked, and it starts with the Clinton family on down. We want to get rid of them for the DNC because they are going to lose to Trump and because they are toxic to the country and toxic to the party.
But in your chance here is saying a vote for Hillary is the same as a vote for Trump. Isn't there a danger that if people on your side of the fence do not support Hillary Clinton, that Donald Trump will make it to the White House?
Listen, the polls are what the polls are. You know how polls work. They poll everybody. And me over here, I'm not going to change the mind of everyone else. They're not voting for Hillary, not because they're out here chanting. They're not voting for Hillary because Hillary does not attract the millennials, does not attract the independents. Hillary is corrupt. Hillary should have been indicted by the FBI. Hillary is a warmonger. Hillary supported the coup in Honduras, which is now the murder capital of the world. And Hillary supports Henry Kissinger and other warmongers that started the dictatorships in Latin America, and Argentina included.
How do you think this is going to go tomorrow when there's the roll call vote?
All our delegates are going to vote for Bernie Sanders.
Not on the evidence of what I saw in the hall tonight.
Sorry?
Not on the evidence of what I saw in the hall tonight. Most people are supporting Hillary Clinton.
No, the Bernie delegates are going to vote for Bernie. It's on the super delegates to do their job, and they're not doing their job. We've gone one by one with them, showing them Nate Silver's 538 that predicts that Hillary has only a 45.5% chance of winning. Donald has 54.5% chance of winning. Those aren't the odds I want to take, do you?
What's your name?
Alexis Edelstein.
How do I spell your surname?
Edelstein, Edelstein.
Great. And where are you from, Alexis?
Santa Monica area in California.
And how old are you? What do you do?
39. I do work in marketing.
Okay, good. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Okay. So there we go. That is the end of the first day of the Democratic National Conference here in Philadelphia.